Focal Point, a proven system to simplify your life, double your productivity, and achieve all your goals, by Brian Tracy. Introduction. Imagine for a moment a massive, multi-billion-dollar nuclear power plant. Deep within its complex machinery, a single, mysterious malfunction is slowing everything down, costing the company a fortune with every passing hour. The plant's own engineers, brilliant as they are stumped. They've tried everything, but they just can't find the source of the problem. So, in desperation, they call in the best consultant in the country. This man arrives, puts on a white coat, and for 2 full days, he simply walks around the plant, studying the hundreds of dials and gauges, taking notes on his clipboard. He doesn't touch a single machine. He just watches, thinks, and calculates. At the end of the second day, he pulls a black marker from his pocket, climbs a ladder, and places a large simple X on one of the gauges. "This is the problem," he says to the engineers. "Repair the equipment connected to this meter, and everything will be solved." And with that, he leaves. The engineers, skeptical but out of options, disassemble the apparatus. And sure enough, they find a small, hidden flaw, the very cause of the massive problem. They fix it, and the plant roars back to full capacity. A week later, the plant manager gets a bill from the consultant for $10,000. He's shocked. $10,000 for 2 days of walking around and drawing a single X? It seemed outrageous. So he writes back to the consultant and asks for an itemized bill. A few days later, a new invoice arrives. It reads, "For placing X on gauge, $1. For knowing which gauge to place X on, $9,999. That simple story holds one of the most powerful secrets to a successful and happy life. It's a secret that has been studied and applied by one of the world's most respected authorities on personal achievement, Brian Tracy. In his transformative book, Focal Point, he gives you the keys to finding that one critical spot in every area of your life where a single, focused effort can create extraordinary results. For over 25 years, Brian has researched the habits of the most effective and successful people in the world. He's discovered that the difference between high achievers and everyone else isn't talent, or luck, or even hard work alone. It's clarity. It's knowing exactly where to put your X. So, what if you could have that same clarity? What if you could learn a system to simplify your life, double your productivity, and achieve every goal you set for yourself? That is the promise of this book. By the time we're finished today, you will understand a proven process that you can apply to your work, your finances, your family, and your personal growth to get better, faster results than you ever imagined possible. You will learn how to find your own focal point. Book summary. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed? Like you have a mountain of things to do, and there are never enough hours in the day? You might be working harder than ever before, but you still feel like you're not making real progress toward your biggest goals. It's a feeling that traps so many people. We believe that to earn more, we have to work more. To achieve more, we have to sacrifice more. But what if that whole idea was wrong? Brian Tracy starts with a bold, almost unbelievable claim. You can double your income and, at the same time, double your time off. Now, that might sound impossible, but the secret isn't about working more hours. It's about changing what you put into those hours. It begins with a fundamental shift in your thinking. The first step, and perhaps the most important one you'll ever take, is to accept complete and total responsibility for your life. This is the great turning point that separates the successful from the average. It means you stop blaming others, you stop making excuses, and you stop complaining about your situation. From this moment forward, no matter what happens, you say to yourself, "I am responsible." When you do this, something magical happens. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling powerful. You take back control of your life. You begin to see yourself not as an employee, but as the president of your own personal services corporation. You are self-employed, no matter who signs your paycheck. Your product is your work, and your job is to make that product more valuable every single day. Once you've taken responsibility, the next question is, how do you increase your value? The answer lies in a simple but profound principle known as the 80-20 rule. It says that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. Think about that. In your work right now, there are a handful of tasks, maybe 2 or 3 out of 10, that are more important than all the others combined. These are your high-value activities. The other 80% are low-value tasks that consume your time but contribute very little to your success. The key to doubling your income is to identify that top 20% and focus more of your time and energy there. At the same time, you must learn to delegate, downsize, and eliminate the low-value tasks that are holding you back. This discipline alone can transform your career. By focusing on higher-value work, you become more productive, you make a greater contribution, and your pay will eventually double to reflect your increased value. And because you're getting twice as much done in the same amount of time, you can then take more time off without losing productivity. This idea of intense focus is what Tracy calls the focal point. It's your X on the gauge. It's the one thing you can do, at any given moment, to get the best possible result in that area of your life. Your ability to find and focus on that X has a greater impact on your life than any other single factor. To find your focal point, you have to achieve absolute clarity. Clarity, Brian says, is everything. Successful people are crystal clear about who they are, what they want, and how they are going to get it. Unsuccessful people are usually fuzzy and confused. To gain this clarity, Brian introduces what he calls the Grand Slam formula. It's a 4-part system for dramatically improving your results, and it's made up of 4 simple words: simplify, leverage, accelerate, and multiply. Let's start with the first, and perhaps most powerful step: simplify. To get control of your time and your life, you must constantly be reducing and eliminating activities that don't add significant value. This is where one of the most powerful thinking tools comes in: zero-based thinking. You regularly ask yourself this question about every part of your life. Knowing what I now know, is there anything I am doing today that I wouldn't get into again if I were starting over? Is there a job, a relationship, a project, or even a customer that, knowing what you now know, you wouldn't take on again? If the answer is yes, then your next question is, how do I get out of this, and how fast? Discontinuing just one major time-consuming activity can dramatically simplify your life almost overnight. This connects to what Brian calls the law of complexity. It states that the complexity of a task increases exponentially with the number of steps involved. A task you do yourself has 1 step, so its complexity level is 1. But if you ask someone else to do it, you've added a step. The complexity level jumps to 4, because the potential for mistakes, delays, and misunderstandings has quadrupled. Add a third person, and the complexity jumps to 9. The lesson is simple. The more you can simplify any process by reducing the number of steps, the more efficient and effective you become. The second part of the Grand Slam formula is leverage. The Greek philosopher Archimedes once said, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I can move the world." You, too, can use leverage to achieve far more than you could on your own. Brian identifies 7 types of leverage you can use. 1. Other people's knowledge. One single idea from a book, a seminar, or a conversation can save you years of hard work. Successful people are constantly searching for new knowledge. 2. Other people's energy. Delegate and outsource lower value activities so you can focus on the few things that only you can do. 3. Other people's money. Your ability to borrow and invest money can allow you to achieve goals that would be impossible with your own resources alone. 4. Other people's successes. Study what successful people have done and learn from their experiences. You can save yourself an enormous amount of time and trouble by following their path. 5. Other people's failures. Benjamin Franklin said that we can either buy our wisdom or borrow it. By studying the failures of others, you can learn valuable lessons without paying the price yourself. 6. Other people's ideas. One good idea is all you need to start a fortune. The more you read and learn, the more likely you are to find it. 7. Other people's contacts. One introduction to one key person can change the entire direction of your life. The third step in the formula is to accelerate. We live in a society that values speed. Everyone is impatient. If you can develop a reputation for doing things quickly and well, you will move to the front of the line in your field. Always be looking for ways to do things faster for the key people in your life. And finally, the fourth step is to multiply yourself. You do this by working with other people whose skills complement your own. A good team leader creates an environment where ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. Your ability to build and lead a team is central to your long-term success. So we have this powerful framework. Take responsibility, find your focal point using the 80-20 rule, and then apply the Grand Slam formula. But how do you apply this to the different parts of your life? Brian breaks life down into 7 key areas, and he suggests you create a personal strategic plan for each one. This is the same process that major corporations use to achieve market dominance, but you apply it to your own life. The goal is to increase your return on energy, the amount of happiness, success, and fulfillment you get from the mental, emotional, and physical energy you invest. The 7 areas are: 1. Business and career. 2. Family and personal life. 3. Money and investments. 4. Health and fitness. 5. Personal growth and development. 6. Social and community activities. 7. Spiritual development and inner peace. For each of these areas, you ask a series of questions to gain absolute clarity. Let's walk through some of the most important ones. For your business and career, you must see yourself as the architect of your own destiny. The days of relying on a company to take care of you are over. You begin by clarifying your values. What's most important to you in your work? Integrity? Excellence? Customer service? Your happiness at work is directly tied to how consistent your actions are with your deepest values. Next, you create a vision. If your career was perfect 5 years from now, what would it look like? How much would you be earning? What kind of work would you be doing? Don't be vague. Be specific. A goal that is not in writing is merely a wish. Then, you identify your area of excellence. This is your competitive advantage. To be truly successful, you must be outstanding at the most important part of your work. Ask yourself this critical question: what one skill, if I developed and did it in an excellent fashion, would have the greatest positive impact on my career? Whatever your answer is, that becomes your focal point for professional development. This is where you put the X. For your family and personal life, the key principle is different. At work, it's the quality of time that matters. At home, it's the quantity of time that matters. You cannot rush relationships. Love and trust are built over long, unbroken periods of time together. Brian suggests a powerful exercise. Sit down with the people you love and ask them 4 simple questions. 1. Is there anything I am doing that you would like me to do more of? 2. Is there anything I am doing that you would like me to do less of? 3. Is there anything you would like me to start doing? 4. And is there anything you would like me to stop doing altogether? The answers might surprise you, but if you listen without defending yourself, you can gain incredible insights into how to improve the most important relationships in your life. Remember, no success in public life can compensate for failure in the home. When it comes to money and investments, the key is to develop a long-time perspective. Most self-made millionaires think about financial independence most of the time. It's not just a goal, it's a central organizing principle of their lives. The secret to wealth is not complicated. The only way most people achieve financial independence is by saving and investing, month after month, year after year. The most important financial habit you can develop is to pay yourself first. Before you pay any bills, set aside a portion of your income, ideally 10 to 20%, for savings and investments. If you can't save 10%, start with 1%. The habit is more important than the amount at first. You must also break Parkinson's law, which says that expenses always rise to meet income. The more you earn, the more you spend. To become wealthy, you must discipline yourself to live on less than you make and save the rest. Brian offers a powerful rule. For the rest of your career, save and invest 50% of every single pay raise you get. This one habit alone will almost guarantee you become wealthy. For your health and fitness, the first step is to decide how long you want to live. If you decide you want to live to be 80 or 90, you now have a focal point. You can look at your current habits and ask, is this helping me reach my goal, or is it hurting me? There are 7 secrets to superb health. Own. Maintain a proper weight. The formula is simple. Eat less and exercise more. 2. Eat a proper diet. Focus on lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and drink lots of water. 3. Exercise properly. Aim for 200 to 300 minutes of exercise per week. 4. Get proper rest. Most people need 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night to be at their best. 5. Take nutritional supplements. Our modern diet often lacks the necessary vitamins and minerals for optimal performance. 6. Stop smoking. It's one of the worst things you can do to your body. 7. And finally, reduce or eliminate alcohol. Moderation in all things is a key to a long life. For your personal growth, you must understand a fundamental truth. Your life only gets better when you get better. To have more, you must first be more. This means committing to lifelong learning. Read in your field for an hour every day. Listen to educational audio programs in your car. Turn your travel time into learning time. Brian offers a 1000% formula for personal growth. It's based on the law of incremental improvement. Could you become just 0.1% better at what you do each day? Of course you could. But if you improve by just 0.1% every weekday, that's a 26% improvement in a single year. Compounded over 10 years, that's a 1004% increase in your productivity and performance. Small, daily improvements, when practiced consistently, lead to staggering long-term results. Finally, we come to social contribution and spiritual development. Ultimately, the deepest human need is the desire for meaning and purpose. It's the need to be part of something bigger than ourselves. This is where you begin to think about your legacy. What kind of difference do you want to make in the world? What do you want to be remembered for? Spiritual development isn't necessarily about religion. It's about finding inner peace. And the highest human good is peace of mind. One of the most powerful ways to find this is through the practice of solitude. Spend time alone, just 30 to 60 minutes, with no distractions. In the silence, your mind will clear, and the answers you are looking for will often rise to the surface. And throughout it all, live by the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's an ancient principle, but it's the foundation of all healthy relationships and a peaceful life. The entire focal point system comes back to that one simple idea from the beginning. Life is constantly presenting you with hundreds of gauges and dials. There are endless demands on your time and attention. But somewhere, there is one gauge that matters more than all the others. There is one place where a single focused effort will solve the problem and move you forward. Your great challenge and your greatest opportunity is to find that focal point, to find your X and then, to focus all your energy on it, without diversion or distraction, until you achieve the result you desire. Commentary. As we wrap up our journey through Brian Tracy's Focal Point, I want to leave you with a final thought. In a world that is constantly screaming for our attention, with endless notifications, distractions, and opportunities, the message of this book is more important than ever. The modern world tells us that the key to success is to do more, to be more, to add more to our already overflowing plates. But the wisdom of Focal Point is the exact opposite. It's not a book about addition. It's a book about subtraction. It's about having the courage to simplify, to eliminate, and to say no. It teaches us that power doesn't come from doing more things, but from doing more of the right things, the things that truly matter. The most powerful lesson here is the idea of clarity. So often, we stumble through life in a fog, unsure of what we want or why we're doing what we do. We work hard, but our efforts are scattered in 100 different directions. Brian Tracy hands us a map and a compass. He forces us to ask the hard questions. What are my values? What is my vision? What is the one thing I can do, right now, that will make the biggest difference? If you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, here are a few simple actions you can take, starting today, to apply these principles. First, perform the focal point exercise. Take just 10 minutes. Sit down with a piece of paper and answer this question. What is the most valuable use of my time, right now? Identify the one task that, if you did it well, would have the greatest positive impact on your work or your life. That is your X. Make a commitment to work on that one thing, without distraction, for the next hour. Second, practice zero-based thinking on one small part of your life. Look at your daily routine. Is there a meeting you attend, a report you create, or a habit you have that, knowing what you now know, you wouldn't start today? If so, ask yourself, how can I stop doing this? And third, try the golden hour. Tomorrow morning, wake up just 30 minutes earlier than usual. But instead of reaching for your phone, invest that time in yourself. Read a few pages of a good book, plan your day, or simply sit in silence and think. Start your day with intention, not reaction. That was a deep dive into the book summary A Focal Point by Brian Tracy. We've explored the core principles today, but I'll be honest with you. A summary can only ever be a signpost. It can point you in the right direction, but it can't walk the path for you. The real transformation happens when you engage with the book yourself. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time and attention. If anything we've discussed has sparked something inside you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning new ideas, it's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see yourself in your daily life. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to Billionaire's Bookshelf. That way, you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.